You know what surprises me? Even the biggest Hollywood stars, those with red carpet glamour, multi-million-dollar franchises, and schedules crazier than a high-speed chase, can teach us some of the most beautiful, relatable, and surprisingly tender lessons in fatherhood. From Ryan Reynolds cracking jokes at the breakfast table to Matthew McConaughey sharing wisdom at bedtime, these celebrity fathers are showing us exactly what matters when the cameras go dark: love, presence, intention. Hey beautiful souls, I'm Candid Cora, and today we're diving into the lives of 14 iconic Hollywood dads who remind us that the brightest spotlight isn't on fame, it shines brightest on family. Ryan Reynolds, the dad who makes parenting real. Ryan Reynolds might be Hollywood's king of sarcasm, but when it comes to his 4 children with Blake Lively, James, Inez, Betty, and baby Olin, his humor becomes something deeper, healing. What I find fascinating about Ryan is how he named his eldest daughter James after his late father. That choice reveals something profound. He's not just making jokes about diaper disasters. He's honoring legacy while embracing the beautiful mess of raising kids. When Ryan posts about being outnumbered by his daughters or jokes about surviving on 3 hours of sleep, he's doing something revolutionary. He's showing millions of parents that it's okay to not have it all figured out. His message? Family life doesn't have to be picture perfect to be meaningful. Laughter isn't a distraction from love, it's a bridge that connects hearts and dissolves daily stress. In a world where everyone feels pressured to perform, Ryan shows us that authenticity with humor creates stronger bonds than perfection ever could. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Discipline meets devotion. The Rock may lift 400 pounds at the gym, but his real strength? Showing up every single day for daughters Simone, Jasmine, and Tiana. What strikes me most about Dwayne is his commitment to routine. Those famous pancake Sundays, the bedtime stories, the elaborate tea parties. These aren't publicity stunts, they're love in action. I think what makes this so powerful is seeing this global action hero prioritize the small moments. He's not just present for the big milestones, he's there for Tuesday morning breakfast, for homework help, for the everyday magic that builds trust. The Rock reminds us that reliability fosters connection. Even the simplest routine can become an anchor of security for our children. His approach proves that presence, not grand gestures, creates the memories that last forever. Chris Hemsworth, the god of thunder who chose family time. Here's what gets me about Chris Hemsworth. He literally stepped away from playing Thor, one of the biggest franchises in Hollywood, to surf with his kids India, Tristan, and Sasha in Australia. Think about that for a moment. In an industry where momentum is everything, where missing opportunities can end careers, Chris chose unplugged family time over red carpets. He chose bedtime stories over blockbuster scripts. What I find beautiful about his approach is how he's redefining what success looks like. He's showing us that fathers aren't just providers, they're partners in childhood, present for the pure moments that shape who our kids become. Chris whispers a truth many of us need to hear. Kids remember presence, not paychecks. Whether it's beach days in Byron Bay or quiet conversations at bedtime, he proves that putting down the phone can create the most powerful memories. John Legend and Chrissy Teigen. Teamwork makes the dream work. John Legend may have won every major music award, but his greatest collaboration? Co-parenting Luna, Miles, Esty, and Ren with Chrissy Teigen. What makes John stand out is his commitment to equality in parenting. He doesn't just help, he participates. Whether it's 3 a.m. feedings, singing lullabies, or supporting Chrissy through the beautiful chaos of raising 4 kids, he shows up as a full partner. I think this sets such a powerful example for children. When kids see parents treating each other as teammates, they learn respect, they learn collaboration, they learn that love is about showing up, not just saying the words. John and Chrissy's dynamic proves that co-parenting isn't a trend. It's a foundation for strong families where trust is built through genuine partnership. Ben Affleck, the comeback dad. Ben Affleck's story breaks my heart, and then rebuilds it. After public struggles with addiction and personal challenges, he's become something beautiful, a father who chose healing. What moves me most is how Ben doesn't hide from his mistakes. Instead, he uses them as motivation to show up differently for Jay, Serafina, and Samuel. He coaches soccer games. He attends school events. He's rebuilding trust one consistent moment at a time. Ben's story teaches us something profound. Fatherhood is about growth, not perfection. His vulnerability demonstrates that admitting mistakes isn't weakness. It's the beginning of authenticity. He reminds every parent watching, you don't have to be perfect to be present. You don't have to have it all together to love completely. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can show our children is how to keep trying, keep growing, keep showing up. Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka, redefining what family looks like. NPH rose to fame playing the legendary Barney Stinson, but his greatest role? Dad to twins Harper and Gideon with husband David Burtka. What I absolutely love about Neil's approach is how he normalizes joy. Their Instagram feed overflows with family game nights, kitchen science experiments, and beautiful chaos. No filters, just authentic love. Neil teaches us something revolutionary. Families come in all shapes, but love is universal. By owning their story with pride and humor, he shows that being a great dad is about heart and consistency, not fitting into traditional molds. His message to every family watching, your family matters, exactly as it is. Love doesn't have boundaries, it just has presence. Matthew McConaughey, the philosopher dad. Matthew McConaughey approaches fatherhood the same way he approaches life, with curiosity over pressure. With wife Camila and children Levi, Vida, and Livingston, he creates space for wonder. What strikes me about Matthew's parenting philosophy is how he emphasizes experience over expectation. He believes in letting kids be kids, asking questions rather than providing all the answers, and seeing the world through fresh eyes. I think his gentle approach speaks to our headline-obsessed world. Parenting doesn't need to be performance, it can be soulful presence. By emphasizing freedom over fear, Matthew whispers one of the most important truths: love grows best when it has room to breathe. Mark Wahlberg, discipline meets devotion. Mark Wahlberg is famous for his 2:30 a.m. workouts, an ultra-disciplined routine. But what moves me most? How he brings that same intentionality to fatherhood with daughters Ella, Grace, and sons Michael and Brendan. Mark doesn't just talk about values, he lives them. He homeschools his children, maintains firm bedtime schedules, and centers family life around faith and structure. Some might call it strict, but I see something beautiful: structure as a love language. What I find powerful about Mark's approach is how he proves that discipline and warmth aren't opposites, they're partners. He shows us that parenting is about designing a life, not drifting through it. His message? Consistency isn't control, it's care made visible. Will Smith, growing through complexity. Will Smith's journey as a father to Trey, Jaden, and Willow has been anything but simple. Through public ups and downs, personal growth, and family challenges, he's remained committed to intentional fatherhood. What strikes me about Will is his openness about the learning process. He doesn't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, he shares his struggles, his growth, and his commitment to believing in his children, even when everything feels uncertain. Will's message resonates deeply. Failure isn't failure when it becomes a lesson. His vulnerability about mistakes and growth encourages other parents to keep going, even when life feels off script. He reminds us that sharing our struggles can build resilience, both in ourselves and our children. Chris Pratt, blended family dedication. Chris Pratt navigates something many modern families face: blended family dynamics with grace and dedication. Father to Jack from his first marriage, and Lila, Eloise, and Ford with Katherine Schwarzenegger, he shows up consistently despite public scrutiny. What I admire about Chris is how he refuses to let headlines define his parenting. He drops kids at school, celebrates small milestones, and stays emotionally available through complexity. His approach teaches us something crucial. Parenting is real life, not highlight reels. Chris demonstrates that being a good dad doesn't mean being perfect. It means loving your children through life's messiness. His commitment shows that vulnerability can be an anchor, and that's a lesson many parents desperately need to hear. Hugh Jackman, grounded greatness. Hugh Jackman, the man who played Wolverine and dazzled Broadway, chose something revolutionary with adopted children Oscar and Ava. Privacy as a gift. Despite global fame, Hugh prioritized quiet family dinners, coaching soccer games, and normal childhood experiences away from cameras. He often describes being a dad as grounding, a role that centers him more than any stage ever could. What makes Hugh's approach so powerful is his restraint. Stability and simplicity become revolutionary in the face of fame. He proves that being off camera sometimes builds the most lasting legacy, one measured in trust, not tabloids. Nick Jonas, vulnerability in new fatherhood. Nick Jonas became a father to daughter Malti via surrogacy with Priyanka Chopra in 2022. And his openness about the emotional depth of new fatherhood has been remarkable. What I love about Nick's journey is his willingness to feel deeply and share authentically. His tearful reactions and heartfelt reflections struck a chord with millions because they showed something beautiful. You don't need years of experience to be a devoted dad. You need willingness and presence. Nick's story encourages new fathers everywhere that it's okay to be overwhelmed by love, to feel uncertain, and to let your humanity show. His message? Authentic emotion is strength, not weakness. David Beckham, champions at home. David Beckham may be a global football legend and fashion icon, but his greatest victory? Never missing bedtime with Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper despite worldwide fame. What strikes me about David is how he's maintained family focus while building a global empire. He drops kids at school, coaches practices, and celebrates every milestone, proving that you can chase championships without missing childhood. David's approach reminds us that global success doesn't need to overshadow fatherhood. His dedication shows that the most important game is the one played at home, where showing up matters more than showing off. Paul Rudd, the relatable superhero. Here's what I absolutely adore about Paul Rudd. His son, Jack, didn't even know he was Ant-Man until he was a teenager. Paul literally hid his Marvel fame to give his kids, Jack and daughter Darby, a normal childhood. Paul embodies something beautiful, approachable fame. He brings superhero-level commitment to dad life while keeping his feet firmly planted in reality. Family movie nights, backyard baseball games, school pickup, these become his greatest performances. His philosophy? It's the small daily rituals that build legacies, not movie roles. His grounded approach reminds every dad watching, you can be your child's hero without needing a cape, a franchise, or a single spotlight. Just show up, be present, be real. So, what do these Hollywood dads have in common? It's not the fame, it's not the photos, it's not even the money. It's presence, intention, authenticity. They're showing us that fatherhood is woven through everyday choices. Bedtime stories, beach days, morning routines. Not award speeches or glossy magazine covers. They remind us that being real matters more than being perfect. Whether it's Ryan's healing humor, Ben's redemption journey, or Paul's everyday heroism, these fathers prove that love isn't about the spotlight. It's about showing up when the cameras go dark. Now I want to hear from you, beautiful souls. Which dad's story resonated most deeply? Was it Chris stepping away from Thor for family time? John's partnership approach? Neil's joyful redefinition of family? Drop a comment and tell me which lesson will stay with you this Father's Day. Hey, if this warmed your heart or made you rethink what fatherhood really looks like, smash that like button, subscribe for more stories that shine light behind the glitz, and ring that bell for notifications. Remember, the greatest performance isn't on screen. It's showing up for the people who matter most. I'm Candid Cora, and I'll see you beautiful souls in the next one. Stay intentional, stay loving, and keep choosing presence over perfection.